Here's the expanded script. Added depth at the Burkina Faso ideology section, the Ghana context, and the closing. Something remarkable is happening across West Africa. Two neighboring nations, Ghana and Burkina Faso, are rewriting the rules of who owns, controls, and benefits from the continent's most prized resource, gold. And together, they are setting the stage for what may be the most consequential gold revolution in the region's modern history. The world has long watched Africa's mineral wealth flow outward, refined elsewhere, traded elsewhere, profited from elsewhere. That era is now being challenged from within. Let us start in Burkina Faso. On the 18th of June 2025, Captain Ibrahim Traoré announced the expulsion of 5 foreign-linked gold mining companies and the nationalization of their operations. According to Traoré, these companies, some tied to French investors through shares or subcontracting agreements, were operating in ways that exploited the country's gold resources without delivering fair returns to the Burkinabe people. We cannot allow our wealth to leave while our communities remain in poverty, the president declared. This was not a sudden impulse. It was the latest strike in a deliberate campaign. The push had begun in August of 2024, when the government nationalized the Bungu and Wagnian mines for approximately $80 million, a fraction of the $300 million their previous sale had been valued at. By June 2025, the nationalization was complete. 5 gold mines and exploration licenses previously held by international firms like Endeavour Mining and Lilium were transferred to a newly formed state entity called SOPAMIB, the Société de Participation Minière du Burkina. By the close of 2025, 6 of Burkina Faso's 15 active industrial gold mines had fallen under majority Burkinabe ownership, with 3 under direct state control through SOPAMIB. This marks one of the most significant shifts in West Africa's mining structure in decades. Before these reforms, foreign companies dominated most industrial mining operations, retaining the bulk of profits while contributing comparatively little to local development. Authorities argue the reforms will keep a far greater share of mining revenue inside Burkina Faso, funding infrastructure, healthcare, education, and industrial growth. And the results have been striking. Burkina Faso announced a historic milestone: 94 tons of gold produced in 2025, the highest annual output in the nation's history. The record figure, achieved as the military-led government tightened its grip on the mining sector, represents both an economic triumph and a geopolitical statement. Critics warned that nationalization would collapse production. Instead, output surged. Additionally, the government applied to acquire a 35% stake in the Kiaka gold mine. If successful, Ouagadougou would hold 50% of the mine, which began production at the end of June 2025. Plans for 10 new semi-mechanized mines, led exclusively by local investors, are scheduled for 2026. For Traoré, this is not just economics. It is ideology. Resource sovereignty is the foundation of his entire political project. A rejection of what his government calls decades of neo-colonial extraction dressed up as foreign investment. He has said plainly that Burkina Faso intends to extract its own gold, refine its own gold, and benefit from its own gold. A national gold refinery project, launched in 2023, is the physical embodiment of that ambition. Whether you agree with his methods or not, the direction is unmistakable. Now let us turn south to Ghana. Ghana's approach is different in style but identical in spirit. Rather than state seizure, Accra is using state architecture, a purpose-built institution called the Ghana GoldBod, known as GoldBod, designed to intercept gold at the source and redirect it into national reserves. Ghana is not expelling foreign miners. It is quietly building the infrastructure to ensure that when leases expire, Ghanaian hands are ready to take over, and Ghanaian institutions are ready to absorb the output. The story crystallized around the Damang Mine in Ghana's western region. Gold Fields, the South African giant, had operated Damang for nearly 30 years, holding a 90% stake while the government retained a 10% free carried interest. The lease expired in 2025, and rather than renew it for a foreign operator, the government let it go. Engineers and Planners, a wholly Ghanaian-owned firm led by Ibrahim Mahama, was awarded the Damang mining lease on the 7th of April 2026. Following a 4-company competitive tender in which it scored highest across technical expertise, methodology, and local content criteria. The handover ceremony was held on the 18th of April 2026. To back the bid financially, Engineers and Planners secured a $205 million syndicated loan arranged by Stanbic Bank Ghana and Standard Bank of South Africa, with Ecobank Ghana and Absa Bank Ghana as participating lenders. The company has also committed approximately $1.2 billion in investment across its Damang and nearby Tarkwa operations. Then came the move that turned heads across the entire industry. Damang Gold Mine Limited sold 100% of its first gold output to the Ghana Gold Board. Approximately 110 kilograms of gold were delivered to GoldBod's assay laboratory in Accra, where it underwent valuation and processing before being purchased on behalf of the Bank of Ghana. Once completed, the gold was refined and added to the central bank's reserves. A second consignment followed. This time, 121 kilograms of gold, exceeding the first, were sold entirely to GoldBod. The technical director of GoldBod, Michael Arco, praised the management of Damang Gold Mine and engineers and planners for demonstrating confidence in the government's national gold policy. For those who thought what we did last time was a 9-day wonder, he said, this is further evidence of the commitment of the mine, wholly owned by a Ghanaian, to support the Ghanaian economy. The transactions fall under Ghana's Accelerated National Reserve Accumulation Program, known as GANRAP, a government-backed policy designed to increase the nation's gold holdings and stabilize the broader economy. GoldBod's chief executive, Sammy Gyamfi, used the moment to call for a national conversation, urging large-scale mining companies to follow Damang's example. He noted that while artisanal and small-scale miners contribute an estimated 104 metric tons to gold supply, the output from large-scale companies directed toward national reserves remains comparatively low. The message to the broader industry is clear. This model is the expectation, not the exception. 2 countries. 2 strategies. 1 direction. Burkina Faso is taking gold by force of law and national will, stripping foreign operators of licenses and placing mines under state ownership, achieving record output in the process. Ghana is building institutional pipelines, retiring foreign leases through attrition, and incentivizing local ownership to feed gold directly into central bank reserves. What connects them is the same conviction, that Africa's gold must stop being someone else's profit, and start being Africa's wealth. For generations, the continent sat on some of the richest deposits on earth while its people saw little of the return. These 2 nations, through very different paths, are now trying to change that equation permanently. The rest of the continent is watching. Mali has already clashed with Barrick over ownership and taxes. Governments from Conakry to Nairobi are asking the same question. Why should our resources leave before we have fully benefited from them? The gold revolution is here. The only question now is who joins it next.